What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about why I'm very uncertain about Lord of the Rings Gollum. Now, this is part of my series where I normally talk about whether I'm getting or not getting a game, right? I title it Why I'm Getting Blank Game. And as this series has picked up, and I'm really proud of this, I think people like it. I love making these more than almost anything else. People have said, well, Alex, why don't you do games that you aren't getting or you're kind of in the middle of? You always pick games that you are getting. And I said, well, I'm a man of the people. Although these videos get me in more trouble, right, because people get mad at me for various reasons, I like the controversy, and I do think there's games that I am kind of in the middle on, and this is a perfect, I don't think actually there's a better game I could have picked that is right down the middle as this game is. I don't want to title this Why I'm Getting, Gollum, or Why I'm Not Getting it. It's why I'm right in the middle, why I'm uncertain of it. So let's go over some of the key facts first, okay, like price and date. So this game comes out on May 25th, and it's got two different editions. Now, this is actually going to be part of why I'm pretty scared of this game. We've actually talked about this in a separate video. It's got a standard edition, which is $50, and then it's got its deluxe, I think they call it the Precious Edition, which is a great name, by the way, for $60. Now, the video I made, not to tease it too long, in that enhanced edition, you actually, part of it, you're paying for voiceover work, right? An entire language, the Sindarin language that some of the enemies will be talking, or actually some of the background characters will be talking. They are adding that in if you buy the extra edition. Now, there's more than that in that $10, right? So you're spending that $10. Part of what you're getting is literally voiceover work that they are not putting in the base game to make the world feel better and feel lived in. Instead, they will give it to you if you pay them more. Now, I word it like that because that's truly the vibes it gives me. It's alarming, it's worrying, I really don't like it, but I've made an entire video on that, I think on my second channel, Podcast Now Plus, if you guys want to check that out. That, concerns me. And that's besides the game itself. So, look, $50, I mean, at least it's not $70. I'm not going to buy the Precious Edition, so if I'm getting this game, it's $50 at launch. And this is maybe a game I'd imagine that goes on sale, a few weeks or a few months after it releases. Is it going to be worth it? Well, I've always tried to remain optimistic, and again, it's why I am in the middle, because I do think this game can be good. And I think, when you watch some of the gameplay, I definitely think it's caught people off guard because I don't think the gameplay looks very good, but it also very much depends on what you're watching. I don't know the official names of the trailers or gameplay presentations, but the last trailer they did, and it could have been when they gave the official date, so maybe it's like the release date trailer, maybe it's like the story trailer. They did a trailer, and it was really good. It was easily the best thing we've ever seen, in my opinion at least, we've ever seen from the game. And it was a mix of cinematics and, atmosphere and world building. Before that, in some of the more, generic, I don't know if that's the right word, but the times we've seen maybe pure gameplay, which we have a few times, it doesn't look all that great. Now, I've been burned before, judging gameplay before the game comes out. You normally don't want to do that, right? I think there's things you can read into when a game is being shown off and say, that's a little worrying, that's maybe not. Gameplay is really tough to tell if it's going to feel good because, you look at it, and that's only one part of it. You actually have to, pick it up, touch it, all that stuff. And I've been burned before, like I said, I really have. So I don't want to judge too harshly, but the game, I think, has scared people off. I don't really think this is the game that people thought it was going to be. And when you carry a name like Gollum, right, Lord of the Rings Gollum, right? So you have Gollum, you're playing as Gollum. That's a big deal. And to me, this game reminds me, or feels more like an indie kind of game. And I feel like that's even the development process of this game is if you look at this game as an indie kind of thing, it maybe is really, really good. The issue is it's $50. You pull this act with that extra $10 to get certain things that really should just be in the game, right? And again, the game doesn't look all that incredible when you watch just the basic gameplay that we've seen over the last couple of years. I guess another thing to throw in there, and we're in a world of delays, so I don't know how much you want to hold this over the game, but I think it's worth saying this game has been delayed time and time and time again. And even, I think it was supposed to come out this past September. It was pushed. It was actually, I think, the most recent saga, like the ending of the saga with this game. It was supposed to come out in September. They delayed it, and they said it would come out later that year. So it was supposed to come out by the end of 2022. The months kept going. Nothing happened. And then they, said, okay, well, it's going to be next year. And then they gave the date just, a few months ago. So This is a game that, well, number one, I think even was supposed to release maybe in 2021. It's been delayed 2, 3, 4 times, like a good amount. And it's not even just that. It's also, I guess, the communication, right? I'm a big advocate that if you delay a game, I mean, the best way of doing it, in my opinion, would be to give a new date. I know that's not always what you can do, right? That's not always possible, but that's what I prefer. The communication of delaying it and saying, well, it's still coming this year. Oh, just kidding. It's not. And it's like, all right, well, there are some problems then. I mean, you have to look at that as obviously they wanted the game out a while ago. Something was up with it. They were very quiet about it. They pushed it another time even after. So really, it's been delayed twice in the last like 6, 7 months. And one of the times was kind of silent about it. And then I guess the final thing to talk about with a game like this, and I do like to throw these into all these videos, is the release date. Now, when we talked about the actual date, but where it comes out in relation to other games. So it's a busy area. Now, the second half of May isn't that busy. Really, you got Amnesia, Gollum. I'd say those are kind of the two big ones after the Titan that is Zelda, right? So you have Zelda. Before that, you had Redfall and Star Wars and Dead Island. But about like a week later, week and a half later, after Gollum, you're going to have some pretty big titans in Street Fighter, Diablo, that little indie game, Diablo 4. A few weeks after that, you got, Crash Team Rumble. I don't know how many people are going to be into that. I am. And Final Fantasy 16. So, again, the reason I bring this stuff up is, well, that goes into my process. If I'm going to get a game, I assume competition goes into other people's minds, right? If you can only get one, you can only afford one, which do you get? Well, a week and a half later, Street Fighter is huge. People love it. Diablo looks like it's going to set the world on fire, right? So there's competition. Maybe not before it. So there won't be anything like a week or so before Gollum. But, you get it, and you got about a week and a half, and then everything comes out. Now, that could result in price drops. I mentioned that earlier. $50. We don't even know how long the game is. There's that concept as well that maybe people would be worried about. If this is a 5-10 hour game, whatever. But in a month after this game comes out, I think it's largely going to get buried by mainly Street Fighter, Final Fantasy, and Diablo, right? I think those 3 games are going to crush June. All the game shows that, will be in June and stuff. So by the end of June, Gollum, maybe it's on sale. Maybe it's $30, $25. Maybe that would be the time that some people get it. So that's where I'm standing with it. I think I'll get it, to be honest with you. Like, if I'm actually going to decide right now, I do think I'd get the game. I think it would make for some interesting content to see what I think about it. But, I really am. I'm in the middle because I'm definitely not like super, super thrilled with what we've seen. I don't think it's awful, but it's in a weird spot. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.